Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
I'm gonna have to come with you. No. When do we start?
Hey everyone, welcome back yet again.
There are iguanas falling out of trees in Florida. There was a weather update about that.
Great. Is that why you're on your phone already?
Yes, it is.
Usually you at least give me the courtesy of like 2 minutes.
I don't care what you have to say right now. I'm excited
You're
about
not giving
this.
me anything.
Okay, I'll give you something.
Chlamydia?
No, I don't have that to give you. I would have gotten it from you anyway. Chlamydia part 2.
I learned it from you, Dad.
Easy.
What are we doing this week? We're going to do all the pop culture news there is that you could possibly imagine. This week in comics history, sports. Oh, so many sports.
Not really.
It's mostly football.
Yeah, a little bit of football.
The announcements. And the leaked Star Wars script, except it wasn't a leaked script. It was one guy that got his hands on it, so it's a summary of a summary. And then your questions.
Oh, do I have questions?
I feel like that really underselling the script part. Look, if I could have read it, I would have.
I'm sure you would.
But it wasn't out there.
No.
We've done unproduced scripts on this show before, and we'll do them again.
Yes.
I got more in the pipeline.
Oh, good for you.
There's a Superman one. There's a Wonder Woman one. There's a Ninja Turtles one.
You said pipeline.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think most important up front, let's just state it now. We are edging so close to our 200th episode.
Yes.
So what we like to do for our centennial episodes.
Bicentennial, actually.
Well, just every 100. So I think.
Well, this would be the bicentennial.
I think it was still kind of a centennial episode in general.
I still feel like bicentennial is better to say.
We want your questions, so email us in at editorsnotecomics@gmail.com. We like to answer a slew of them.
Gmail?
Yes. G-Unit.
Yes. Correct.
What an incredibly dated reference.
No, G-Unit's not dated. You shut your mouth when you're talking about G-Unit.
Were you watching Chappelle's show recently or something?
Nope. Can't say that I was.
Is that where you're getting this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. I don't know. There's probably not much else up front. Look, you're all aware that the store is closing. This week's
What?
Yeah. This week's real letter to the editors is, so what are you doing next?
Yes, what are you doing next?
Who the hell knows? That's the answer.
Not living in blinding poverty.
But boy, is that the question I've been getting for the last 2 weeks.
Are you going to start doing some old-timey porn?
I don't think it sells.
Oh.
It's like when Playboy stopped doing nudes and then they turned that around. Like, know your market. Come on.
Yeah, sex sells.
Research has shown that it actually doesn't.
Oh, well, it used to.
No, that was just a thing people said. It was never true.
Okay.
But I guess from there, let's dive into the nudes.
What?
No. I switched up the word. It was funny.
Yeah, I ignored it.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Not a huge news week, but still some, I don't know, there's enough. There's enough that we have a segment.
Well, there always should be.
Hugo Weaving is not returning for The Matrix 4.
Well, it makes sense. He got absorbed into the Matrix.
And also explained why he wasn't in the Avengers movies.
But why would he be in the Avengers movies?
Well, let's start with The Matrix. The short, the long of it is scheduling conflict.
Okay.
He was offered a role to come back, and just it would have taken about 8 weeks, and he's doing a play.
Mr. Anderson.
So just timing wise, it just didn't work with schedules.
Okay.
Kind of short and the long of that, which I'm kind of fine with. Do we really need more of him? I'm gonna say no.
No, I think you can do it without Agent Smith. Get a new antagonist in there. Morpheus is actually a machine.
And he's not scheduled to come back either, but I like Agent Smith in the first movie a lot. In the second movie, I still think he's used pretty well. By the third one, when he's getting all emotional and yelling, I mean, those two sequels suck anyway, but I don't know. I'm kind of fine without him being in it. Despite him being a very good actor, I just don't think there's any story left to tell there.
Yeah, plus
so that's fine.
Like for me, when Agent Smith gets all like whiny and stuff, that doesn't make sense for a program. Like programs are supposed to be logical.
Well, I mean, I love some of that stuff. I mean, I love that like their powers have gotten so extreme, like that they're fighting in the air, and there's this one shot where like they get shot through a building, and I'm a big sucker for a silhouette fight. don't know what to tell you. I just really love when people are fighting in a silhouette. And
So if like somebody made some like shadow puppets and they fought,
I mean, the last Bond movie did it, or was it 2 Bonds ago? I can't remember now. But I mean, The Matrix did it, like this wonderful, like slow motion silhouette fight inside of a warehouse. I mean, I'm just a sucker for that. But I don't know why. I just enjoy it a lot.
What about the silhouette scene in Robin Hood Men in Tights?
Good movie.
Thank you.
It is a good movie.
But you know what I'm talking about? Where
Yeah,
he's-
what's that? Mel Brooks did that, right?
Yes, he did.
Speaking of Mel Brooks, his Young Frankenstein Broadway production is going to be like the next live action musical coming out. I saw that on Broadway, and I got to tell you, it wasn't great.
Thank you for.
I saw it. It was one of those ones I was walking by the gift shop, and they're like, original cast album. And I'm like, keep on a-walking. As someone who loves Young Frankenstein. One of the funniest movies of all time.
Gene Wilder, right?
I was going to say, boy, if we're talking like all-time great comedies, was like Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein. They're both Mel Brooks.
Blazing Saddles is really good.
Probably the funniest movie of all time.
It's certainly up there.
It's gotta be. And so many great jokes. What do you like to do? I don't know. Play chess? Screw? Let's play chess. Look at that. Like steady as can be. Yeah, but I shoot with this one. So many great gags. I love that movie. Whatever.
It's classic.
Young Frankenstein wasn't a great musical, I guess is the point.
Okay.
That I didn't even need to make here.
No, you didn't.
As far as the Avengers go, he basically said, one, he kind of backtracked some statements from years ago. Like, he was like, look, I really enjoyed it. But years back after he did Red Skull, he was like, I hated it. And I hate it so much that I think even though I'm contracted, I don't think they'll have the bad taste to ask me to do it again. But what he said this time was, basically, he was signed a 3-picture deal, and he was basically promised more money with every movie, and so much time had passed that they kind of like renegotiated the contract, and he was going to get way less than he did before. So he's like, I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing more for less.
So not only do I hate this, you're going to give me less money, so double no.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to no.
This is the rumor of the week, and I think it's a good rumor, and hopefully a true one.
All right.
Lucasfilm wants Taika Waititi to direct a Star Wars movie.
Ooh.
He directed the last episode of The Mandalorian, Thor Ragnarok, Jojo Rabbit.
He's also
What We Do in
directing
the Shadows.
Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. You're all excited for this. You just said last week you want to let Star Wars rest.
I do, but you could also let it rest and still have him do it, because I mean, I still like the idea of him having a mix of doing the small thing and the big thing, kind of alternating. So he has a big thing coming up with Thor. Let him do a small thing, and then let him do a big thing.
Okay.
Which would still be like minimum, 4 or 5 years down the road.
Can small thing be like an episode of Kenobi?
I mean, I was more going with like he just did Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, well, Jojo Rabbit's not a small thing. It's got some Oscar looks and.
I mean, like it was still a low budget production.
Low budget doesn't mean that it can't be good.
Because amazingly enough, you can't get studios to sign off on the idea of like a little boy's imaginary friend is Hitler.
Yeah, that's kind of a hard sell.
Yeah. So I'd still like to see him do that kind of like oscillating thing. But yeah, we're talking 4 or 5 years down the road, totally do a Star Wars. I'd love that. He's really he's really good.
He is very good. He's very talented. He's funny.
He's a weird nut job, but damn it, he's really good at what he does.
Hello, I'm Cog.
Piss off, Ghost.
Thor, he's back.
This is one I forgot to mention last week, so I'm making up for it this week.
Hello, new Doug.
Scott Derrickson, director of the first Doctor Strange movie, has, in quotes, amicably left ways with Marvel on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
How strange.
And to that, I say, good.
Well, there you go.
Here's the weird thing about the Doctor Strange movie. It's not terrible. It's fine. But it's the worst Doctor Strange movie there is.
It's the only Doctor Strange movie there is.
But if you compare him to what he did in Thor Ragnarok and how he was in Infinity War, I'm not going to count Endgame because that was, 90 seconds of screen time.
Yeah.
But if you compare it to those other 2 movies...
He wasn't in Ragnarok that long either.
It's still better than he was in the actual Doctor Strange movie.
Infinity War was probably his best.
I think he was more interesting in every movie he's been in that wasn't Doctor Strange. So yeah, totally. Like, ditch the director. Get him out of there. I feel like... I don't know. I don't know what people are saying. I don't really care either. But that's just my opinion. I'm like, yeah, the worst Doctor Strange movie is Doctor Strange. So sure, get a new director in.
There you go.
Hot takes.
I like it. That's what the show's all about.
And then in the world of Watchmen, all the Watchmen sequels that you could shake a stick at, Damon Lindelof will not be returning for season 2. And is there going to be a season 2? I don't know, probably because it was very popular.
We like popular things.
Well, I mean, they went into this, or he went into this saying specifically, this is a 1-season thing. I'm going to tell this story, and I'm going to get out. And then they were like, hey, this is very popular. Would you like some money? And he went, no. The value of my time is very high right now, so I don't actually need to take this specific money for a thing that I don't have a good idea for. Which is probably good, because, I mean, most people hate how Lost ended.
Yes.
Look, it's the ending of The Dark Tower. If you didn't read, Lost is nothing but Stephen King references, and the ending is just the end of Dark Tower.
They're all dead.
Yeah, there are a couple of them.
Mm.
A couple of them in purgatory. One of them is in an endless cycle.
It all happens in the blink of an eye.
No, but you were doing pretty well.
Oh, okay.
For just throwing out random generalizations.
I'm here for you. It's my job to make you look smart.
He did The Leftovers, which was only 3 seasons, which people definitely like more than I did.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's good.
Pretty good.
It's okay.
I was going with just more HBO references, but
Yes.
yeah, I mean, Leftovers is fine. I really haven't seen Watchmen, so yeah, but if he's smart enough to go like, no, I told the story I need to tell and get out, that's probably the best idea. Better to burn out than fade away.
Are you referencing one of two things? You'd be referencing the Kurgan, or you could be referencing the song by Def Leppard.
I was going to say, it's definitely not the first one, because I don't know what that is.
From Highlander.
Oh.
When he's in the church. Hello, ladies.
Highlander's not very good.
What? Shut your hole. Highlander's great. Sean Connery, sword fighting, the Scottish Highlands, old-timey wrestling to open it up.
Black Widow.
No, time out. Defend your position.
It's fine. It was one of those many high sorcery movies of the time that are all kind of mediocre and don't hold up.
How does it not hold up?
Effects, costumes, highfalutin storytelling that's nonsense.
No, you're wrong. You're so wrong. Wrong.
There's a lot of those at the time. They're just not very good.
I think it's good.
That's fine. Enjoy it then.
Yeah, but for you to sit here and sully its good name.
Black Widow. Hey, it might surprise you that...
There could be only one.
Yes, I know. That while there's a new Black Widow movie coming up, I can't believe this, but Marvel Comics is going to be relaunching a Black Widow series at the same time?
How fortuitous.
Wow, they never do that.
Yeah, I know.
They do that every time. Yeah, Black Widow is coming back. A series of hers just ended, but she's getting a new #1 written by Kelly Thompson, who, hot writer Kelly Thompson, and art by Elena Casagrande. I probably pronounced that wrong, but I tried. Either way, that's coming up. Yeah, I mean, they do this every single time. Like, new movie, new #1. Because people will come into a comic shop, they'll be like, well, this says #6, so it's not #1, so I don't want to start reading it. I'm like, yeah, well, #1 started back in the 60s, so it's a weird scale you have.
Casa Grande.
Now, this has been teased for a while, and I'm kind of excited to see it. Strange Adventures, which is going to be starring Adam Strange. It's going to be written by Tom King, who's done things like 85 issues of Batman, The Vision, Mr. Miracle, kind of in that same Vision and Mr. Miracle realm, doing Strange Adventures. The co-character in there is going to be Mr. Terrific. He has a big T on his face. There's some balls that circle him, and he's the 3rd smartest person in the DC universe.
He has balls that circle him?
He has terrific balls.
That circle his face?
Well, he can control his
Are they in like a helicopter
balls.
motion?
No.
A propeller, perhaps?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he just has terrific balls.
Oh, okay. Fantastic, perhaps?
But, I mean, I don't know. Sure, why not? He's not a character that gets a ton of play, and I like what Tom King does a lot, so if you can kind of do this...
Are you perhaps saying that his balls don't get a lot of play?
I mean, there are at least 3 of them.
Oh, well, that's a problem. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, why not? I like Tom King's writing a lot. Vision, Mr. Miracle, if we're doing something in that same kind of vein. Vision was all about the Vision building a family for himself, and it all kind of falls apart, and Mr. Miracle was also kind of about building a family with Big Barda and PTSD. If you want to go in that same kind of vein, sure, great, why not?
Balls it is. All right, there you go.
And last bit of news, one of the all-time great X-Men stories, God Loves, Man Kills, that was written by Chris Claremont. At the time, Marvel was putting out Marvel graphic novels. They were supposed to be outside of continuity, but this one was so successful, they folded it in.
Yes.
Also was the kind of basis for X-Men 2, X-Men United.
Ugh.
Long title.
Oh, yes.
But Claremont is returning to the God Love Man Kills with quote-unquote an extended cut, which is going to be 2 oversized issues where they expand on it. And to that I say, boo.
Yes.
It's the special editions of Star Wars. Don't touch it. It's one of the best.
Let it be.
Kind of essentially like, what? They told the story already, and they had a lot of leeway because they got a whole graphic novel to do it in. Except, I would bet anything.
To
say that this time, Kitty Pryde probably won't scream the N-word.
That's probably a safe bet.
Yeah. In the 80s, she was
Terse?
very comfortable throwing that one out. She used it at least 3 times.
Wow.
So, like, God Loves Man Kills, extended cut. It's just Kitty Pryde screaming the N-word for an extra 5 pages.
Wow.
But probably not. I'm sure they're going to cut that aspect out.
It's probably good.
Like, yeah, maybe this doesn't fly.
It's probably does not aged well.
Like, I get that you're going for, like, a shock value moment, but at the same time...
It's time for Kitty Pryde to swallow her pride and use more appropriate language.
Yeah, maybe don't scream that in front of a black person's face. That's what happened.
Yeah. Ooh. That's not good.
Because there was something along the lines of like, oh, you were called a mutie. And she was like, oh, yeah? Well, what if you were called? It's like, okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah, how about no, Kitty Pryde?
Like, let's take a step back. One of those things is a real slur, and one of them is fiction. So I don't think they're actually equatable.
Yeah, one of those things is not like the other.
They can't do that again. I can't imagine.
No, they can't.
Either way, I don't think this is a good idea. Even though Chris Claremont is the godfather of X-Men comics and literally wrote the book on what makes the X-Men, but this seems like a terrible idea.
Not good, no. I think if you can eliminate...
Don't Lucas this up.
Yeah, just don't mess with it. Let it be.
But that's it for the news. So from there, we're going to move on to this week in comics history.
It's comics history.
The hell was that?
That was that's like a nasally drunk Marvin the Martian.
Great.
Oh, boy.
Or Kermit. They're the same.
No, they don't sound the same.
Superhero landing coming up.
This week in comics history.
I think we got an interesting week this week.
All right, are you going to quiz me this week?
Maybe for a couple of them.
Okay.
We can try.
All right.
This is not a good quiz week.
Oh, well, quiz me on the ones that you think I can get.
In 1908.
Okay, that's out of my wheelhouse.
Marvel publisher, Timely Comics publisher, Martin Goodman was born. A lot of people get a lot of credit for Marvel's success, like Stan and Jack and Joe Simon. And Martin Goodman gets a fair bit of flack from fans looking back at the time because he was very much a bureaucrat and he was in it for the money. And he did a lot of his work from the golf course. But at the same time...
That's where I did a lot of my best work.
If there's no Martin Goodman, there's no Marvel Comics. So for as much flack as he gets, he is still... He's not a creative pillar, but he is absolutely a solid pillar of...
A foundational piece.
Oh, yeah. Without him, there's nothing. In 1916...
Okay.
Speaking of birthdays, George Edward Papp was born. He's known as being a longtime Superboy artist, and he's the co-creator of Green Arrow, and also was famously fired in 1968 with a ton of other DC creatives for asking for health insurance.
Oh!
And DC went the opposite of health insurance. You're all fired.
Yeah. How about this? You want health insurance? Go find a new job.
Yeah, basically. In 1939, we can maybe do a quizzo on this one. The Superman Daily Strip kicked off.
Yes.
I sold this in the store. I wish I still had copies of it. Of like these hardcovers of the Superman Daily Strip. It was done by Superman co-creators Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, but it added elements of Superman's lore. That it's crazy how much of Superman's lore is just pieced together from like, oh, there's something from the cartoon. Oh, there's something from the serial. Oh, there's something from the comic strip.
Okay.
But this introduced 2 major elements of Superman's lore. Can you guess what those are?
I'm going to say the Daily Planet.
No.
How about Krypton?
Krypton is one of the 2 things the Daily Strip introduced.
Good for me. The second one, I want to say, if you introduce Krypton, you got to introduce Kryptonite.
You're so close and on the right path.
Is it?
It's not Kryptonite, but you are the right idea of If they introduce Krypton, there's another element they have to introduce.
That it blew up?
Well, yeah, but Jor-El.
Oh,
the Superman Daily Strip also
right.
introduced Jor-El,
right.
father of Superman.
Hey, not bad that I guessed Krypton.
No, that's a pretty good one.
Damn right.
In 1929, Popeye first appeared in a daily comic strip.
Okay, yes.
But not in a Popeye comic strip.
In an olive oil comic strip.
It was Thimble Theater.
Oh, yes, of course.
Of course, yes. Of course, the Thimble Theater comic strip.
How could I have forgotten?
Yeah. In 1974, Bill Finger died, passed away, not really being renowned, although people within the industry would know him as the essential co-creator of Batman. We've talked about Bill Finger before. Basically, anything interesting about Batman, Bill Finger came up with.
He got like a screen credit
Recently, there's a long kind of legal battle. Bill Finger basically invented the idea of like, let's make Batman have a black suit and a cowl and a cape instead of bat wings and a Batmobile. And also the villains and Robin. He
pretty much all the cool Batman things.
Essentially. The way the story goes, take it as you will, whether it's fact or not, is that Bob Kane was approached by DC, and DC said, like, hey, make us up a character. And he went, all right, I'll work on that. Then he was talking to Bill Finger, and he's like, this is my idea for Batman. It's a guy with a domino mask and a red suit. Bill Finger reworked it, and Bob Kane went, great. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll both go to DC or not DC at the time. It wasn't timely. What the hell were they? National. I think it was National. We'll both go to National Comics tomorrow afternoon. So instead he went that morning. He's like, look at this Batman.
Oh, wow. It's like, hey, thanks for making my project. Now I'm going to get an A on this group project that you did everything on, but I'm going to present it.
Yeah, but I mean, Bill Finger recently has gotten credit. So if you see any new movies or anything, it'll say Batman created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger. It won't say co-created, but it will say with. He does get some credit in the Batman 66 show. He wrote an episode where he gets full credit for creating the Clock King. He's also the co-creator of Green Lantern, Alan Scott. But yeah, he has one living heir. He has a granddaughter to kind of keep I think she has a kid too. But yeah, to keep the kind of the family name going. Yeah, Bill Finger died in 1974, basically thinking he was unsuccessful, despite co-creating Batman.
Yeah.
So, fun story. There's a great documentary, I think it's on Hulu, that you can find. It's called I forget what it's called. Just like a Bill Finger.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. In 1978, Jack Kirby created one of what I think is one of his fun comics creations, Devil Dinosaur, #1 kicked off. This series was a big flop. It went for 9 issues, I think.
Really?
It's basically a dinosaur who got too close to a volcano, so it made him red.
Like Clifford the Big Red Dog?
Essentially, it's Clifford the Big Red Dog, but it's a dinosaur.
Rawr.
And he's ridden by a little prehistoric boy named Moon Boy.
Moon Boy?
And they have adventures, and sometimes they go to space. They only went for 9 issues, but
why couldn't it go for more? Space is infinite.
It's a fun little series. I know it didn't do well, but if you get a chance to read Devil Dinosaur, you don't get a lot to lose on it because it's real short.
There you go.
And then 1982, speaking of Jack Kirby, Destroyer Duck #1 was put out by Eclipse Comics. This was done by Howard the Duck co-creator Steve Gerber, who was trying to raise money in a legal battle with Marvel over who owned Howard the Duck, and Jack Kirby threw some art in there because he was not pleased with Marvel at the time either.
Yeah, Kirby's like, watch me do my thing.
Yeah, so Destroyer Duck #1, the cover says something along the lines of like the legally different enough, something along those lines.
Yes.
And then in 2008, after someone was shot going into court, a different character had to take up the mantle. This is a quiz one.
Okay.
2008, a character was shot dead on the steps of a courthouse, only to have a protege take over.
Daredevil?
No.
It makes sense that he's a lawyer. He'd be going into court. No, not Batman.
No. Although Batman also was replaced in 2008, so you're not terribly far off.
Captain America?
It is Captain America. Bucky Barnes took over in Captain America #34 for Steve Rogers after he was shot down in Captain America 25. And to be fair, this is one of my favorite runs of Captain America of all time. I love it. Bucky was a great Cap.
Yes.
Fun design. Alex Ross did a bunch of gorgeous covers, but yeah, Captain America was replaced. All right, that's that.
All right.
Let's go from the West Coast Avengers to the AFC West. It's time for Jared's Sports Reports.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare-chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared's Sports Report.
That's still a stretch. I feel like we could have done better.
I have done a lot of these.
And none of them have been good.
They've all been classics.
They've been mediocre at best.
Gems.
Yeah. See, now I know how you feel about Highlander. Let's see. The Super Bowl has been set. The Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers should be a really exciting matchup. The opening line was was Kansas City by like 1.5 and like an over-under of in the mid-50s. So it should expect a relatively high-scoring, entertaining football game. I'm all in on it.
Unlike last year's Super Bowl, which was
very good if you like to watch defense.
Yeah, that's what people say. They like to pretend that it was interesting, but it wasn't.
I found it to be interesting.
It was boring.
Whatever. It's not for you. It's for me.
Look, let's watch no one do anything.
There was a lot of things happening, just not a lot of offense. So you've got that. Antonio Brown is in trouble again. There was another alleged domestic dispute in his home. I think his trainer was arrested, allegedly. It was like a late developing story, but Antonio Brown continues to have his problems. Rumors continue to swirl around. Tom Brady was at the UFC fights over the weekend.
Drunk as a skunk.
Oh, yeah, he was TB12ing it right there. Pliability, baby. He got one of the largest ovations of the night. It was and then Dana White, the president of the UFC, said, listen, Tom Brady's either going to be playing in Las Vegas or New England. There's going to be any place else. But a lot of people think he might end up in L.A., which for the Chargers, which also gained a little traction because Phillip Rivers, who is currently the Chargers quarterback, has now moved to Florida to be, quote, closer to home.
People do that, though.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see, what other...
Isn't he from the West Coast originally?
Tom Brady?
Yeah.
He's from San Mateo, California.
Okay.
Yeah, so absolutely. He was a 49ers fan growing up.
I don't remember. It's not my sport.
He was there when the catch happened. Joe Montana to Dwight Howard in the back of the end zone at Candlestick Park.
Great.
Let's see.
The indignant bell.
Yeah, the indignant bell. The Bruins continue to Bruin. I didn't look them up recently. The Hall of Fame for the Baseball Hall of Fame those votes were actually just released this afternoon as we recorded. Derek Jeter, first ballot Hall of Famer, 1 vote shy of being a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer.
Which STD is he famous for having? Is it herpes?
I don't know.
Isn't he supposed to go into like all of Hollywood herpes?
I think that's Alex Rodriguez.
I thought it was Jeter.
I don't know. I'm not going to go out here and...
Allegedly.
I don't know what their STI situation is. Allegedly.
I think it was him. I think it was the herp.
You can't say that about someone without knowing factually.
Allegedly. There we go. Legally protected.
I still don't feel comfortable with you alleging this man has the herp.
All right, you keep talking. I'm looking up Derek Jeter herpes.
You do that. I'm trying to think of some other interesting or pressing sports issue. Oh, the 2020 NFL draft will take place in Las Vegas at the Bellagio on the water, and they were going to bring the draft picks up to the stage by boat. Kind of foolish. At least that's how I feel. Racing season's right around the corner as well. The Rolex 24 at Daytona is this weekend, and then Speed Week starts not too long after that. You seem to have some late-breaking news here, Zach.
No, there's a lot of articles about him allegedly having herpes, so allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Just like you allegedly have chlamydia. Just like you allegedly had HPV at one point.
You're just throwing things out there.
Everybody has HPV.
Untrue facts.
Everybody, like 80% of sexually active adults in America have HPV at some point.
Untrue facts.
That's a true fact.
I'm going to sue you for libel.
I'm not saying you do. I'm saying you allegedly. See? See how that works? How do you feel now?
All right, what else are you
Mr. Hep C over here. Not much. Celtics continue to Celtic. They're near 100% health. Big win over the Lakers this week.
After kind of 2 rough weeks in the hardest month of the year, a lot of back-to-backs. They're playing at the minimum every other day.
It's good for you.
And what do you got to do?
Character.
What do you got to do about that? You're going up against one of the biggest rivalries in all of sports, the team with the second best record in the NBA. And what do? You got to bend them over and take them around town because they destroyed the Lakers.
Wow.
By 32 points. Everything went right. Jaylen Brown dunking on LeBron. Boogie Cousins saying something to rookie Grant Williams. Then he drains a 3, shoots a smile and a thumbs up and gets a tech.
Wow.
Which is the most on-brand Grant Williams thing he could do.
I got a technical foul last week.
Did you?
I did.
Were you fined $2,500?
I was not fined anything.
Well, then it's different in the NBA now, isn't it?
Yes.
But, oh, man, was that after kind of 2 weeks of a slump, that just playoff atmosphere, shaking all that off, it just felt good.
Yes.
32-point win.
Hey, when you win by... Hey, I'll take a 1-point win.
I mean, just against the Lakers, though, it just makes it so much sweeter.
Yes. Yes, it does. Beat LA, baby.
They should probably still trade for another bench player, though. Anywho.
Oh, I forgot to say, Kurt Schilling did not make it into the Hall of Fame this time around.
Okay.
So there you go. That's it for the sports reports.
That's what you got?
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. So from there, we're going to move on to a Star Wars script. The Star Wars that wasn't.
Duel of the Fates.
And I guess we'll do an editor's education. That's what this segment will be, because we have a theme for that.
For if knowledge is power, then a god am.
It's time to get an editor's education.
Stop playing with the foam. All right, theme. So last week, not even a script, a summary of an outline was released online.
And everyone went nuts.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, this certainly isn't a complete story, and it's not like anyone's actually, other than the initial leaker, was able to actually read anything. So we're literally all just going off of a YouTube video.
Is there a seductive spider dance?
There's not.
Dang it.
Not like James Cameron's Spider-Man.
Yes.
So yeah, the way the story goes is Colin Trevorrow, Jurassic World director, was supposed to do Star Wars Episode 9, and then he directed a low-budget thing, and everyone hated it. I don't even remember what it was at this point, but it was basically just this horribly panned, low-budget movie, and the second that he was getting like terrible press, Lucasfilm cut him off.
Yes.
We don't know how much of a script was done, but at least there was a treatment. And now we have a summary of said treatment, which is
a summary of a summary.
Supposedly real. It's still not.
Release the Trevorrow cut.
It's not 100% confirmed, but it's a more than likely confirmation of this is the episode 9 we almost got.
Okay.
Or at least a draft of it.
Yes.
As I already mentioned, it was called Duel of the Fates, of course named after the John Williams music from Star Wars Episode 1. Where it's like,
we know.
You don't know if everyone knows that.
I'm assuming
someone was informed.
I'm assuming.
Dun 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 dun. That score is great.
Yeah, yes, it is. You ruined it with your little doo interpretation. I'm assuming if you're listening to this podcast, you know the song "Duel of the Fates."
Yeah, so that was the title instead of Rise of Skywalker. So how does the movie go?
It goes like this.
Exactly. The movie opens up in an Imperial shipyard where they're building Star Destroyers.
Of course they are.
Or I guess in this case it's the First Order, whatever. You know what I mean.
Still Star Destroyer.
Rose and BB-8 are there, sneaking in on a different mission at the same location. Finn, Poe, and Rey are also there, and their whole plan is essentially, let's blow all this up.
It's a good idea.
And Rey is there. She has reforged Luke Skywalker's lightsaber with the staff that she was seen having in Force Awakens to create a double-bladed kind of situation.
Why would you phrase it a double-bladed kind of situation? It is.
It was a double-bladed weapon from a staff and a lightsaber, okay?
That's all I want. I want accuracy in my reporting.
But they try and blow up this whole shipyard. They fail. So in order to get away, they steal a Star Destroyer. Like, crap. This isn't going well.
Let's take this thing that needs thousands of people to run and 4 of us take it and fly away.
Well, BB-8's there, so he probably has one of those just sockets that does everything, like R2.
The Deus Ex Machina of the Star Wars universe.
R2. He either has the 2-pronged one or the circular one.
Yes, he's got both. He's an astromech droid. He does it all.
But something this movie does that Rise of Skywalker really doesn't is it actually builds off of The Last Jedi versus being like,
it never happened.
We cut over to Coruscant, which doesn't have like the same shiny, bright edge that it had before. It's more like this like run-down Art Deco kind of place with Chancellor Hux.
Ooh, he's the Chancellor now.
He's a Chancellor. And he's meeting with a bunch of warlords who are like, you need to kill Rey. And also, where is Kylo Ren? And
I love a good warlord.
It's like, we're working on killing the girl thing. I don't know where Kylo Ren is, but he's gone somewhere searching for something of great power.
Yes.
Smash cut. Kylo Ren is on Mustafar. Mustafar. Like the Queen song.
Yes.
And he's in Vader's castle. Because Vader has a castle, remember?
Yes, we talked about this.
And Luke Skywalker is also there. He's like, hey.
What's up, kid? How are you?
Stop being evil. You're eviling it up too much.
Yeah.
Maybe you should turn to the other side. And he's like, shut up. And Luke's like, no, I'm a ghost. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
I'm a haunt your ass.
And then he's like, okay, boomer.
Yes, basically. Kylo Ren finds a Sith holocron that has a hologram from Palpatine. So Palpatine's in both versions.
Oh, okay.
But this is just a hologram of him where he's like, Lord Vader, if Luke Skywalker defeats me, and hopefully you don't throw me into a pit
where I blow up.
Do it. And definitely can't come back for any reason. You need to take young Skywalker. I'm going to stop doing the voice. All right, basically, he needs to take Luke to his master that taught him all about being a Sith, Tor Valium.
But wasn't Palpatine's master Darth Plagueis?
They might be one and the same. It is not clear.
Okay.
I can just tell you that his name is Tor Valium.
Just like Darth Tyrannus and Count Dooku are the same person?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But that's the Sith that trained Palpatine, supposedly. So, also, when this information happens, the holocron blows up and it messes up Kylo Ren's face. And he's like, my face!
Was that a line in there?
It was. And then we cut over to the Resistance base and Leia, who seems to have a connection with her son. She's like, my face! No, I guess it wasn't me. I guess it was just something blowing up in the face of my son.
Yes.
But the Star Destroyer returns there, and they're like, oh my god, it's the Star Destroyer. They're like, wait a minute, our friends are running it. And they're like, oh man, we have no resources. But this bad boy sure does.
So we have a Star Destroyer.
Essentially, yeah.
Let's paint it white for the Resistance.
Rey is reading the Jedi text that she got from Acto.
Not really page turners, are they?
But she finds out that on Coruscant, they have something called a Force Beacon that could reach out to at least 50 different star systems to say, hey, we need help. We're going to try and just beat the bad guys down. And they can't, in the First Order, can't stop it because the technology is so old that they don't have the blocking capabilities. It's like if we were sending out a message with like MS-DOS.
Did they ever find that the changed transmission code in the Jedi Temple? Yoda said a long time it would take for the clones to see the change in the message.
I know what to tell you.
Okay.
I only got the information I got.
All right, I'm asking the questions that people want asked. I'm the voice of the voiceless.
So Luke stops haunting Kylo for a second.
MOTP.
And he starts haunting Rey.
I'm an MOTP. You know what that means?
No.
Man of the people.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Now you know.
And he starts going to Rey. He's like, hey, do better and get stronger. And she's like, why? He's like, because you need to defeat Kylo Ren, probably. And she's like, how is that balance?
Yeah.
Like, if the darkness destroys extinguishes the light, or the light destroys the darkness, how's that balance? And Luke goes, I don't know, you should probably just ruin him.
Yeah,
just
ruin him.
You gotta mess him up.
You got me there.
Which I agree. It's not balance.
Yeah. Well, remember, she's a gray Jedi.
So they go off. They're different teams. Rose, Finn, R2, 3PO, they're all going to go to Coruscant to set off the Force Beacon. Meanwhile, Rey, Poe, and Chewbacca are going to go, and this is in quotes, find someone to help Rey figure out what she needs to do, which is vague. I don't really know what that means.
Yes.
And before she leaves, Rey's talking to Leia. She's like, hey, there's still good in your son. And Leia's like, is there? Is there? He kind of skewered his dad. And also, my brother's dead because of him. So, rock in a hard place here.
Yes.
So they leave on their mission. The First Order tracks down the Star Destroyer they stole. They're like, oh my god.
We found it.
Yeah, and
I hate when I leave the keys in it and I leave it running.
The Resistance escapes. They're like, oh, we need to leave now because the First Order is here.
Yes.
The Force Beacon is lit.
The beacons of Minas Tirith. The beacons of Minas Tirith.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Rey, Poe, and Chewbacca are pursued by the Knights of Ren.
Oh, good. More Knights of Ren. Because they didn't really do anything in the last movie.
Kylo Ren finds Tor Valium or Valum or whatever, and he's like, hey, train me. He's like, okay, I'll train you.
Oh, okay.
And he has kind of like one of those like Dagobah cave fights with Darth Vader, except he loses.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. It's like, you won't need your weapons in there, except you might, because Darth Vader's going to kick your ass.
But he was dead.
So Poe and Rey are off doing a thing, and Poe brings Rey to a seer who looks into her mind when she was connected with Kylo Ren. And they're like, hey, you need to go to this planet called...
Kylo Ren?
Yes, sorry. Reylo or whatever.
Kylo Ren, though.
Hashtag.
You're part of that movement.
They should kiss more. The seer's like, hey, Rey, go to this planet called Mortis.
That sounds welcoming.
It sounds is that like Latin for like death or something?
Mortis, yeah. Rigor mortis, yeah.
So Rey's like, okay, I'll go there. But before she can go there, the Knights of Ren arrive and she kills them all. She's like, double-bladed lightsaber, pew, pew, pew.
Lightsabers don't go pew, pew. They go...
And at the same time, Tor Valium's like, hey, Kylo Ren, go to Mortis. He's like, all right, I'll go there.
If I have to.
Meanwhile, Leia contacts Lando in the movie.
Hey, Lando!
And she's like, hey, can you organize all the smugglers? Because we gotta do a thing.
Mando!
We gotta go to Coruscant. Because at Coruscant, now that the beacon's been lit, Rose has been captured.
The beacons are lit. The beacons are lit.
She's also being tortured,
Oh,
but she escapes, so that's a positive.
yes, very much a positive.
And then Finn runs around the streets of Coruscant, and he's like, hey, we should have an uprising. And the people of Coruscant are like, okay. And they have an uprising.
Wow.
So while there's an uprising, Leia shows up at Coruscant with a bunch of starships. They're like, pew, pew, pew.
Like that Wall Street movement. What was that? Remember people were just camping
Yes,
out?
I remember that.
What was it called?
I don't remember. There was also an iPhone coming out at the same time, and there were 2 lines.
But people were like, we're camping out.
Yeah. So Leia shows up with an army at Coruscant. Chewbacca flies an X-Wing.
That's kind of cool.
It's like, this is different for me. There's a big old fight. Meanwhile, Kylo Ren and Rey fight, and he reveals that she is still no one, and Snoke ordered that he kill her parents.
Oh, Occupy Wall Street.
Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
There it is.
The Occupy movement.
So Snoke was like, kill her parents. And he was like, all right. So while this fight is going on, Luke, Obi-Wan, and Yoda show up as Force ghosts. And they're like, hey, stop it. You should turn to the light side. And Kylo Ren says,
okay, boomer.
He says no.
Essentially the same thing.
And then this is, I'm throwing this one in quotes again. He's then extinguished. It's my quote. And at some point, Han Solo was going to show up and talk to him too.
But did he?
No.
No.
I mean, not for what I just told. He was.
So it feels like
he was going to be there at some point.
It feels like there are a lot of elements that were in this that were in the. You got Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, the Jedi texts are mentioned, Luke Force Ghost.
Yeah, I mean those things were kind of givens, though.
Yes.
Is this better than what we got? There's no way to tell.
No, there isn't.
This is a summary of a thing. How you execute that summary is very different from like just text on a page. I think it's interesting. I like how it follows up on the Last Jedi stuff more than Rise of Skywalker did.
More Force sensitive people out there.
It just feels like they're building more than the other one was just like, that's a 1 in a million shot. We can't do it.
Hey, remember Star Wars and the things you liked? Here they are. A desert planet and lightsaber fights, the Death Star throne room.
Yeah.
All for your viewing pleasure.
It's impossible to say. I like a lot of the ideas here. And as someone who is kind of Han warm on Rise of Skywalker.
Han warm?
Instead of lukewarm, I thought I'd throw a different Star Wars name in there.
You're like Jar Jar Binks warm? He's okay.
There's that novel that came out that was like, look at that sad clown whose name is Jar Jar Binks on the street trying to amuse children but failing. Hilarious.
You just slapped your knee.
I did. It was a knee slapper.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if this would have been better.
I don't know. It just doesn't. It feels like it's building on the Last Jedi.
There's cool
obviously.
stuff. I like the idea of like we're stealing a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, I like that.
I also like the idea of like they go in, they're like, we have a subversive plan and we're gonna screw up all their fleet, and they're like, oh crap, it didn't work. Run away.
I also really like that they let Kylo Ren continue to be a bad guy.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to have like the same like
redemptive arc. Yeah,
where he's just like, nah, bitch, I'm evil.
Like. The thing that kind of really gets glossed over in, Rise of Skywalker is everyone kind of cheers that Ben Solo comes back. He did some real terrible shit.
He killed Han Solo.
He killed his dad. He tried to kill his mom on multiple occasions.
Well, but he took his finger off the trigger, so that means he's not into matricide.
They still blew up his mom's ship.
He didn't do it. The TIE fighters behind him did it.
Yeah, but he ordered them to fire on the ship.
He led the attack. Luke's dead because of him. Yeah, he's kind of a crap dude.
Yeah.
Although he is hosting Saturday Night Live this week, so I'm looking forward to that.
Well, Adam Driver, good guy. Kylo Ren, shady dude.
I think he
killed that old man that we never really learned any more about in the first movie.
What
was that all about? I want to know more about him.
There's a current Star Wars comic called The Rise of Kylo Ren that he's in.
Yeah, but who was the old guy that he killed?
I know, he's in the comic. What do you want from me?
To read it for me and to summarize it. Cliff notes that shit for me. Let's go.
I just did that for a movie that wasn't.
Oh, whatever. Let's see. What else am I thinking about?
He just has long hair because he has such pointy ears. The hair is just there to cover the ears.
It's a big Jedi mullet.
I mean, that's just why he has it in general. He's got car door ears. Look, as someone who spent, the first 17 to 18 years of their life with car door ears, I have every right to say it.
Then you just let the rest of your body catch up.
Just widen out there.
Exactly. Become more proportional to your ears. Is that what you did here?
Yes, that's exactly it.
I'm proud of myself for that, actually.
Well, someone has to be proud of you.
Me. Listen, no one else is going to be your biggest fan. Why not be your own?
But yeah, I mean, overall, it's interesting, but I couldn't say if it'd be better.
It's intriguing, but I kind of like what we got anyway.
It
It works out.
I would have preferred someone other than J.J. Abrams doing it. I think I like J.J. Abrams a lot. Like, I don't want that to be like, I'm against him. Like, but I think he's really good at kicking things off. Like, he kicked off Lost. Like, he was involved in the first season. He did, like, the first couple episodes. He did, like, the first two-parter. He kicked off Star Trek. He totally revitalized Mission Impossible. And he kicked off Star Wars. But we've also seen he probably shouldn't come back.
Yeah.
So I wish we had someone other than JJ doing this last one, but at the same time,
But it's what we got, and I was thoroughly entertained.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see a couple of small, I would have liked to see The Force Ghosts, actually.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker it's pretty mediocre, which isn't a bad thing. I still enjoyed myself. I had an enjoyable time. Doesn't blow me away like other Star Wars movies have, but it's fine.
No, it was good. I think it'll hold up on a rewatch as well.
I don't think it will.
Well,
but
how do you really feel?
I don't know, so I can't say if this one's any better.
Okay.
But let's move on to our very last segment. Letters to the editors.
Now for my favorite part of the show. What's that say? Talk to the audience. Oh, God, this is always death.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
This one had multiple pages.
Those are the letters we're not getting right there.
Once again, I do want to push for that. Letters for our 200th episode right in.
Bicentennial episode of Editors No Comics Podcast. Yeah!
This isn't wrestling.
Could have been monster trucks.
I guess it could have.
Yeah, exactly. Could have been a bass fishing tournament.
Yeah, write in whatever you want. It could be
Fireworks
anything.
store. Could have been anything.
Just be like, hey, 200th episode. Just put that in there somewhere. It's easier to search an email that way.
Extravaganza!
But yeah, write in for questions for that, because that's coming up. But, a crossing of the streams of topics.
Oh, ooh, okay.
What Marvel property are we going to see in a Super Bowl commercial?
Ooh.
I have a guess. Do you want me to throw out my note, and then you can confirm or deny?
Go for it.
Eternals. It's coming out later this year. We've seen some costuming stuff. We know the cast, but we haven't actually seen anything. It's an unknown property, and you're going to get a ton of eyes on it if it's a Super Bowl commercial. Because we got Black Widow coming up. It seems like it's a lower tier kind of Marvel thing, but I feel like they're going to try and do a Guardians of the Galaxy with Eternals and be like lesser known property. Let's knock your socks off. I feel like we're seeing Eternals. The very first look of Eternals is going to be at the Super Bowl.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you. I think that's a smart time to do it. I don't think we're getting a new Black Widow. What else is supposed to come out from Marvel soon?
Everything. We could always get some Disney Plus stuff. Like there's a potential for WandaVision. They moved that release date up,
so there could be that.
So I think those are probably. There's also.
I don't know because it's on Fox. I don't know if they would
if they're paying for the time.
That's a good point.
There's also a chance for Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I think
that's happening after WandaVision.
I thought I just saw that Falcon and
Winter
Winter Soldier got postponed or delayed.
There's some kind of delay because of something happening where they're shooting.
Oh, okay.
But they've shot some of it, I think.
All right.
I think with what's coming out, like if those are our options or the closest ones, like Black Widow, Eternals, WandaVision.
I think Eternals.
I think Eternals is the best bet. We still also might get Black Widow. I mean, we might get both. There's nothing saying we can't, but I feel like they're going to try and push Eternals as hard as they can because it is an unknown quantity. They haven't done unknown quantities in a while. The best one, I think, because I remember seeing there was an extended you'll see the commercial and there's an extended trailer for the Avengers beyond what you saw on screen, and they've done that with in Guardians and blah blah blah. But I think the best one was
when you told everyone at the Super Bowl party last year to shut up, it's on.
That was a few years ago.
Yes,
that's for Guardians too.
So shut up, everyone. It's what I want to see, not the sports ball.
It's my time.
It's my 90 seconds.
But for Iron Man 3, they showed the trailer at the Super Bowl, and they're go online to see an extended look. And it's just Robert Downey Jr. walks into frame, sunglasses, done, pulls the sunglasses off, done. It's just that was an extended look.
I'm all in.
People crap on Iron Man 3. I enjoy it quite a bit. And I also enjoyed that Super Bowl extended look of just Robert Downey Jr. staring down the barrel of a camera. But yeah, so Eternals, that's my guess. I think that'll be the first footage we see will be on the Super Bowl.
I am going to agree.
I also didn't bother researching this to see if there's information about that out there, but I'm guessing Eternals.
Yes.
But that's probably it for this week. That's the show.
Well, if you enjoyed
the
show.
How long did it go? Long enough.
Yeah, if you enjoyed the show, go to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. $1 A month gets you this show a whole day early. Plus, you get spoiler and spoiler-free reviews of Buffy, Angel, and Firefly new releases. Yeah, exactly. Like Zach said. Plus, you
I was
can
drinking tea.
Yeah, drink the tea. You can also visit Zach 210 Water Street in Hollowell, where there's a great sale going on.
A buy all of my stuff sale.
Pretty much. Anything under $5. Anything under $7 is $1.
Comics, yeah, and all kind of collectible stuff is half off. I've been selling some of the fixtures, but if you still need like shelves that look like comic books or gutters or a fun bench.
Ooh, the bench would look nice on your patio.
Yeah,
Put some urethane on it and
I mean, I could seal
weather it up. Yeah,
or I could get a couple $100 for it. So we'll see.
Okay, I don't know if it's worth a couple $100.
I paid a couple $100.
Wow.
It's still worth a chunk.
Yeah, okay, maybe like $150.
Yeah, maybe.
There you go.
I take that.
There you go. A bench for $150.
It's a good bench.
It's a good comic reading bench. Let's see. What else am I forgetting? You can find him online, editorsnotecomics.com. He's also on all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Not Instagram. It's dead. I'm never posting again.
Oh, okay. Well, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok.
And you have a Twitter.
At Junior Rich.
I don't know what you're going to be tweeting after football season's done.
I'll find something to tweet about.
Just live reactions to games.
Everything. I'll tweet about all the world.
Then it's going to be basketball tweets.
Yeah, you never know.
The next Lakers game, that's like a Sunday 3:30 game. Nice, easy game to watch.
There you go.
It is. That'll be a fun one.
Yes.
See if we can beat the Lakers down for the second time.
Yes. Do it.
All right. Next week. Oh, it's the show we were built for.
Number 1.
You're damn right.
Number 1.
That's premiering.
Engage.
I guess the day this comes out for most people, that's out now.
Yes, I'm excited to watch it.
You're damn right.
I'm going to get me some all access.
I know. Gotta get CBS because it is Picard time. This is the show we were made to do.
You're going to watch that and you're going to binge a bunch of Twilight Zone, aren't you?
I saw I had CBS All Access before.
Oh, okay.
So I already saw the Twilight Zone.
All right. Well, now it'll be back.
Well, I mean, I saw the new one. I've also seen the old one. I haven't seen the 80s series, and I never saw the movie. I'm kind of put off by the movie by that whole decapitating people thing.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, next week we're back for Picard.
So pumped.
I know it's gonna. God, if it's bad, there's been so much hype and so much.
It's not
build-up.
going to be bad. It's not going to be bad. It's impossible for it to be bad.
It's possible, but boy, I hope it's not because I'm ready.
There we go. Can't wait.
All right, we'll be back next week.
Stay classy, Space Cats.
Indeed. Engage.